Hi everyone, welcome to Alice's Crochet Corner. In this week's video, we are learning how to crochet a pencil case. You can use this for anything, but I think this is really appropriate for going back to school. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial. It's super quick to make. It's also quite sizable too, so you can fit a lot of different stationery items in there. And without further ado, let's get started. We are going to first start by creating a slip knot. And then we are going to chain 34. So we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through that loop. We're doing this for a total of 34 times. I've just finished with my foundation chains. I'm going to start our next round by chaining 2 more. And then we are going to be doing a half double crochet into that third chain. To do a half double crochet, we wrap our yarn around our hook once, insert our hook into that third chain. So that's 1, 2, 3. So insert our hook into that chain, grab our yarn and pull up a loop. We now have 3 loops on our hook. We wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through all 3 loops. We are going to continue with our half double crochet. I'm going to do a few more with you. And as you can see, the half double crochet creates this beautiful stitch. Now we're going to go ahead and do a half double crochet in every stitch all the way to the very end, and I'll meet you when we're done. We've just finished our half double crochet for this round. To start our next round, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in this stitch here. So not where we've chained 1, but the stitch right next to it. So again, wrap our yarn around our hook, insert our hook into that stitch, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through all 3 loops. So what you'll notice is that we have a half double crochet sitting above the half double crochet that we did in the last round. So again, we're just going to continue. As we keep going, it starts to become a lot more obvious too, how the stitches just sit right above each other. Beautiful. So we're just going to keep going all the way until we have done a half double crochet at the very end here. So we've now done a total of 2 rounds of half double crochet. Just a reminder that we don't want to miss this little stitch here. It's quite often easy to forget, but we just want to make sure that we have a half double crochet sitting above this little one here, so that we don't accidentally decrease without realizing. Beautiful. So now with the 2 rounds of half double crochet, we are going to repeat exactly what we've been doing and have a total of 18 rounds of half double crochet if you want to achieve the same width and height of a case as me. I'm going to show you again how to start and end another round, but I just wanted to let you know that it's going to be exactly the same. We are going to have a total of 18 rounds. So to start a round again, we chain 1, turn our work and do a half double crochet in that first stitch here. So not the chain 1, but that first stitch. And then again, a half double crochet in every stitch. We'll keep going and I'll meet you at the very end when we're done. So we have now done a total of 3 rounds of half double crochet. Yours should look very similar to mine. Now we're going to go ahead and do another 15 more, so we have a total of 18, and I'll meet you when we're done. So I've just finished with my 18 rounds of half double crochet. I'm going to pull my yarn out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work and sort of get a gauge on the size that we have. So our case is roughly going to look something like this as we fold it. So you can go ahead and see whether or not you want to do any more rounds if you prefer a wider case. For me, I'm pretty happy with about 15 stitches to be roughly the size for the base. So I've counted my stitches by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I counted about 15. And so that when I fold, it still looks really, really cute. Now I'm going to grab the same color yarn as our case, and I'm going to insert my hook into the top left hand stitch to start, making sure that I also piece my hook through the other side of the case, because we're trying to attach the sides together now. We're going to grab our yarn and pull up a loop. Wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through. So what you'll see is that there's stitches lining up directly next to each other. And we're just going to do our single crochet in every stitch. So the purpose of this is we want to connect the two sides together so that it forms our case for us to put stuff in. So we're just working a single crochet in every stitch, just like what I'm doing now. We're just going to keep going all the way. We want to make sure we don't miss this last little bit here too. And there we have it. Gorgeous, and this is how it looks at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to cut our yarn first, pull the loop through. Again, just lining up and making sure it's nice and flat, not uneven. We're going to insert our hook through just like that. Grabbing our yarn, pulling up a loop, chaining 1. See how we have some tail ends of our yarn? I'm going to have it next to me on the left side and crochet around it. Essentially, we're going to bury the tail ends. This just means that there's less stitches for us to, well, less tail ends for us to weave at the end of our project. So just single crocheting over on top of the tail end of the yarn, and at the same time connecting the two sides together. We're still going to have a little bit of the tail end of the yarn left, so we can just cut that afterwards. I'm going to keep going. We just want to make sure that we don't forget this last little bit as well. There we have it. We're going to cut these little bits of yarn because we have already essentially weaved through by burying it with our single crochet. Cut it like that. We can weave this in later. Amazing. So your case should sort of look like this at the moment. Nice and pretty. Once we have finished crocheting the two sides together, we're going to turn our case. This is going to be the right side facing up. Oh, it's looking very, very pretty. Next, we are going to crochet the top edge of our flap so that it looks nice and neat as we close the flap, and it also creates a more of an even edge. To do so, we're going to start by inserting our hook into this top stitch here. Grab our yarn and pull up a loop. We're going to bury this tail end of our yarn as we work through. I'm going to chain 1. So see these tail ends of our yarn, we're just going to have them tucked in as we work our single crochet. We're just going to work in every stitch as best as we can. These aren't really stitches for us to crochet into, but if we sort of evenly space them out and insert our hook wherever we can, then it doesn't really make a difference. I've just finished working a single crochet in every stitch except for this last stitch here. What we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook underneath this stitch, making sure that it's underneath 2 loops, grabbing our yarn and finishing with a slip stitch. And this way we have some nice edges that mirror each other. To start our next round, we are going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work and continue with our single crochet. Instead of going all the way to the end, we are actually going to stop roughly at the halfway mark because we want to create this space for us to be able to loop around the button. There's ways that you can do this. You can absolutely count and make sure that you have an even number of stitches on either side. For me, to be honest, I'm just going to do a rough guess. And so I can see like this is roughly the halfway point. I've just done a single crochet in every stitch. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to chain 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've just done a single crochet in this stitch, so we're going to insert our hook into that next stitch and do a single crochet. We're just going to continue on with a single crochet all the way until we're at the very end. As you can see, I've worked a single crochet in every stitch except for this last stitch here. I could do a single crochet in this last little stitch, but I'm going to slip stitch to end this round instead. Again, we're going to insert our hook underneath the 2 loops, grab our yarn and pull through all the loops on our hook. I just think this makes a much neater edge. We can now grab our scissors and cut our yarn. There we have it. Looking very, very cute. Now you can absolutely use a actual button, but for me, I'm going to crochet my own little flower. I think that will look really cute here. I'm really loving the color mustard lately, so I'm going to have a little flower here. I think it contrasts quite nicely. To start making our flower, we're going to grab our hook and we're going to again do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet into this 3rd chain. That's 1 double crochet. We're going to do another one, and then we're going to slip stitch. So we insert our hook, grab our yarn, pull through, and so that's 1 little petal. We're going to do this a total of 5 times. So we're going to chain 2, do 2 double crochet in this little stitch, insert our hook to finish with a slip stitch. That is our second petal. Our third petal, we're going to chain two double crochet. I'm going to have the instructions on how to crochet a flower on the screen as well. And that's 3 petals. We're just going to keep going until we have a total of 5. I have just finished with my last little petal. I'm going to cut our yarn. I'm going to weave the yarn through. And what we're going to do is we're going to weave this yarn through the center of the flower, just like that. And then where we've started with our slip knot, I'm also going to weave that in so that it's as close to the center as possible. The reason why we're doing this is because we're going to connect the flower onto the case with these 2 tail ends. Having it in the center makes it a lot easier. I want to weave the tail ends through like this and roughly gauge where we want it to be. And so I can see that here is probably where it fits quite nicely. I'm going to insert my hook underneath and pull up a stitch very gently because we don't want to break anything. Grab the tail ends of our yarn and pull through, just like that. And then I'm going to insert it through so that I can properly weave it in. We are almost done. We're just going to cut off any little bits of tail ends that we've buried and then weave in the tail ends that we didn't bury. As you can see, because we buried our tail ends, it just means there's way less ends that we need to weave in, which is awesome. There we have it, our gorgeous, gorgeous case. Insert our flower. Oh, it's looking super pretty. Look at what we just crocheted. I am so proud of us. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I hope you really enjoyed it and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.